So we will now start our panel discussion. I'd like to start the panel discussion by thanking everyone that is on the panel and all the audience for being with us on your weekend and for all the interactive discussions, which I'm sure we will enjoy over the next hour or so. Thank you for coming, and thank you for participating in PAR's AI second forum. My first question to all the panelists would be, what's your highlight from this forum this year? Over to you.
Okay. So first of all, the forum is really, really interesting. I didn't anticipate that, to be frankly with you guys. And I realized like there are a lot of highlights about AI in healthcare and medical domain. A part of that, there are many interested parties and real-life application of AI in healthcare, which realistically, I didn't anticipate it also, that the healthcare system was already start to adopt those kind of advanced technology in real life. Because again, an academic perspective, we have a lot of model. We implement a lot of model that for publication purpose. But when we try to create any kind of collaboration with the healthcare or provider, it's not easy job. But in today seminars, I realized like there are a lot of real-life application of how AI had been really in real life applied for healthcare.
Thank you. What about you, Amna? What was your highlight?
First, I would like to thank the organizing committee again. Actually, the forum was exceeding the expectation to me. This is the first time for me to attend the conference. All the speakers were excellent speakers. I think I gained a lot and I learned a lot from the experience from different parts of the world. So it was a really nice conference, very informative. Hopefully we are in the good track because of the education and of artificial intelligence in healthcare and especially in radiology is very important at different level. And I think this forum is a great work actually, and it's a great initiative by PARS. So thank you.
Thank you.
So for me, Amanda, if you want to compare to the first version, I think we are getting more mature. We had more participants, and sometimes the first day there were more people than the seats here around. So, and I would like as well to thank the universities to be involved for first time. So we had a participation from Khalifa University, Mohammed bin Zayed University, Abu Dhabi University, Birmingham, Dubai. So I hope to see even universities from the Arab world to be involved as well. And I thank as well as students as well to be here as well to be involved in the and participate as well.
Inshallah.
Thank you very much, Amanda. I have many highlights, but I probably choose two top. The top one actually that amazed me is these young minds that came up with all these solutions and the way that they think ahead of, and their thinking, if you see all the scientific and the competition, it is centered about the patient. It's been patient-centered management. And I think if the AI will do a revolution in the health system, it is this patient-centered management focus. The second highlight, the first time I attended AI was in 2017 in RSNA. And during that time, the question in everyone's mind and every AI workshop or presentation is, would the AI replace radiologist or no? What I gathered from this meeting and what really I like was that now we are so mature after 7 years at least, and we are presenting a clinical solutions that in place and in use in the hospital, and we have exchange experience from Saudi Arabia, Egypt, UAE, and even Russia, UK, and this is very, very important because when you have something new in your field, it is important to have the experience of others. We know that there are many restrictions and many, like the cost, the regulation, But when you see different people going and how they tackle their problem, I think this is very important for us.
Thank you. Over to our president. What's your highlight this year?
Well, the first thing, I was happy with the positive feedback that we've got so far. I personally think that the program was comprehensive. It covered different aspects of AI. And I was happy that we added the competition this year and the abstracts. And we involved the young generation and gave them the chance to give new ideas. Other than that, I was happy actually with the diversity of the attendees. I think we have more diverse attendees this year in terms of age and in terms of different countries participating.
Perfect, thank you.
Actually, a couple of highlights I need to comment on. Number one, it struck me how smart you are as a moderator. You ask one question, you get like 12 answers for one question. That's amazing. Okay, that's number one.
It's a strategy.
No, this is amazing. But the other thing is, I'm really amazed of the depth of knowledge, not only of the speakers, of the delegates. And this is something I've noticed maybe for the first time. You're learning from the attendees, from the delegates. The depth of knowledge is amazing. The third and final one, those quiz respondents, the quality of the work is unbelievable. And I really sympathize with the committee that has to decide who the winner is. It's very difficult to choose between the five. So good luck and keep up the good work. Really amazing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Firstly, I have to congratulate the PARS and President Dr. Lamia and the scientific committee of this second marvelous, actually, Artificial Intelligence Forum. And I have two highlights. The first one is I participated last year, and I was happy to see, besides the participants of the last year, that the forum gaining more participants this year. That means the message has been conducted, that we are attracting more people to this concept. And the second important concept, in my opinion, is that the Artificial Intelligence Forum is gathering people from, or attracting people from different specialties. So I don't think any other medical or non-medical conference you can find engineer, radiologist, and cardiologist together. In France, for example, you'll never find radiologist and cardiologist in one conference. That's impossible. In the United States, okay, but in Europe and France. And then the last highlight, I said that before, I have to give credit for the organizing committee, ICOM, for the music. They like the old music. That's great.
Thank you. يعني as a committee member شهادتنا بالعربي بيقولوا شهادتنا مجروحة. So, but I would like to thank everybody who participated from the committee, the attendees. But I will have to second Dr. Lamia as well. Is adding those abstract review and the competition created, like touched my heart, because this is the target, this is the primary target of establishing those conferences, is the community engagement, mainly those young brains that we have in this part of the world, that we rely on them to, for the knowledge transfer and for the future of our area. We deeply rely on them, and we want them to be much more accessibly participating next year, inshallah.
Inshallah, thank you. Danoub?
Last but not least, I've forgotten the question now.
What's your highlight for PARS AI 2?
So, given this is the second one now, I think it's really moving in a positive direction. Just almost echoing now what most people have said, but it's really good to see how multidisciplinary the meeting is, how you know, so much has improved and changed in just 12 months. And more fresh ideas, more interesting concepts. I like this competitive component to, you know, the presentations now as well, because it really brings out the best, I think, that the region has to offer. And yeah, I think it's a very exciting time for the region, and to have meetings and forums like this. Again, congratulate Lamia and the organizing committee, and of course, last but not least, the hosts of this lovely hotel, which have kept us well fed and hydrated, so, and the organizers as well, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. My second question is maybe a little bit more fun as well. Maybe I start with you. If I give you an infinite pot of money, what would be your top priority in AI, in your region and practice, from your experience?
So I think infinite pot of money, wow, well, I think having
Just dream of
a good amount of money, I think, let's say for the region, what would be good? I think what we have in London now in the UK, which you'd mentioned previously, the Institute of Healthcare Engineering, I think it's very important that these sorts of medtech hubs are, you know, developed in other areas of the world. I think they really empower clinicians and entrepreneurial aspects of AI, bringing people together to develop really clinically applicable technologies. So I think if we have something like this in the region, that would be very beneficial, similar to what we have in London. That would be what I would use the money for.
So the first check has to be more than 50 million, but yes, indeed. What do you
I would definitely buy all the FDA-approved algorithms and put them in practice in my area in an integrated mode. And if I have some remaining, inshallah I will, then I will create separate projects for our students to work on things that I presented already on my slides that I would love to see, but vendors didn't yet present. We can maybe make it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I will apply my answer to the region, not to United States. So that's and actually I will copy your approach you're presenting in your presentation. So we'll do some committee maybe that includes industry, clinicians, researchers, engineers, and patients. I will not forget patients, and see what is the most common problem or to prioritizing the health problems, to be able to direct this money towards a module or towards a model, I would say, that will benefit all those aspects. Will benefit the patients, number one, the industry, will satisfy the industry to get their money back, and the hospitals, the facilities, and the clinicians and researchers. So whatever the model, whatever the system, should serve all these people, because we need the collaboration between all these people to achieve success. So the money will bring the money and the clinical benefits and the research benefits. That's it.
And we achieve the infinite pot.
I think I would deploy at scale in deprived parts of the world. Middle East and Africa really come to mind first, but in all deprived parts of the world, because AI might have been developed in more advanced countries, first world countries, but the real need is in these countries where they have lack of service, lack of radiologists, lack of expertise. So I would definitely deploy at scale in these countries where the services are really needed, but I also make sure that we have in place centers of excellence that would sustain the viability of this deployment. So that's what I would do. Somehow get that infinite pot drained for you.
But with health equalities, then we achieve better health. So it will eventually be more cost effective for everyone if we implement it that way as well.
I hope, and industry will get its money back and everyone will be happy. And this is where the need is, third world countries, much more than developed countries. I can see that clearly, but they can't afford it. So use that pot of money to provide the service for these countries that need it the most.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess the first thing I would try to get all of the good AI algorithms out there and implement them where I work at the university, because we're still behind because of the cost, actually. It's a very limiting factor in a public hospital in Saudi Arabia. Especially algorithms related to cardiovascular imaging, which is my practice, and chest imaging. The other thing is that I would put a big portion of that money for research, AI-related research. Because people, I think, are still in need to do more and more research in terms of AI. And I will also implement part of it in educating people by conducting more conferences throughout the region to teach people about AI. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does electronic Ferrari with AI driver count?
Only if it takes us somewhere collectively.
No. When I in my field, when we started to look in AI, that was toward the end of 2019 as a solutions, and then COVID came and we paused for a while, and then we started again on 2021. What I noticed when we were assessing is that we come, many vendors come with very good solution from their point of view. And it's probably a good solution technically, but when we assess it in the practice, it doesn't really value the cost of its clinical work. So that's why I really agree with Dr. Dia. What I will do, I'll bring the expert from all fields, the healthcare field, the engineering, the programmer, the scientific researchers, and put them in one table. And then I identified the challenges I have, and I put priority. For me, the priority is the management of the flow work is very important if I have AI to help me in this way. A preventive medicine is very important if I have. We all know that if you prevent the disease, you have much more outcome than if you start to manage a disease that's already developed. And probably the most successful things in healthcare was vaccination. So this is where I will put my money. Thanks.
Perfect. Very well said. Thank you.
So for me, I will use the money to make the patient journey from arrival to the hospital toward the management perfect. So, and then maybe I will support what we have, that experimental research. So we will adapt some services that it's unique for our environment and our culture.
Probably I will run away with the money to Switzerland, but
In the Ferrari.
yeah, the Ferrari. But you know, first I will go with the same strategy. We have to have short-term win and long-term plan for the budget we have. So the short-term win is to use whatever we have available in the market, which is FDA approved, and the long-term is going with the research, education, and gathering all the groups together to know what we need in the country. Actually, thank you.
Okay, so my answer will be create data biobank. So data access is not easy. Having access to a really high quality data is not easy. Accessing to multimodality data is not easy. So if we create a biobank in which for each patient we have information about it from multi-omics, genomic information, electronic health record, image, signal, multimodality, and based on those information, we can try and address different healthcare issues. For sure, we can collaborate with academic people who will be really happy to have access to data to do a lot of research, because nowadays, if we talk about AI algorithm, it's all out there. We have Python, R, and for Python, there are many, many packages. For large language model, we have Hugging Face. All of them are free. All what we need is access to a really high quality data that will help us to do research, and along with not only high quality, a truly high quality, multimodality patient data set. This is my answer.
And education of how to use it.
Education academic will do that. They will do it for research.
Thank you. I'll open the panel for the attendees. If anyone wants to ask anyone any questions. It's not every day we have all these experts under one roof.
Well, actually, I have no questions, but I'm really proud of every one of you and every one of the attendees. Today, it's a very happy day for us that we're finishing, we're concluding this thing with a smile, with a big smile. I can see it on every face. And actually, I think everyone else enjoyed it, so I have to thank you for that. Nothing to comment.
Thank you so much.
Just a big thank you.
Any questions? Yes?
The last question. It's just not a question, honestly. I just would like to thank you so much for this opportunity, because bridging the gap between the academia and the industry, or as professionals here, is something mandatory. It's important. I'm coming from the academia, by the way, from a university, and the idea how you did running the competition in your forum today is something amazing. I hope next year that we can see students presenting their projects outside through booths, for example, so they can explain their ideas in a better way. Thank you so much. You did amazing. It was an amazing day, honestly. Thank you so much. Just highly appreciate your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll talk more about the challenge and the winners very shortly after the panel.
Thank you very much for the organizing committee, all the presenters and all the participants. There is one item that I feel is missing, which is the bridging the gap, exactly. We have seen many presenters spoke about research, many people spoke about the use of clinical AI-based tools, but we have not seen, except for the last competition, how do we bridge the gap? I mean, are we going to stay consumers of products, AI products made abroad, and only research for purpose of publications and promotion and so on? Are we going to be able to fill the vacuum? I mean, having our own AI startups here in the region, where people are not just going to be consumers of AI products brought from overseas, very expensive and so on, but will be producers of AI products. And that way, we are really not following the wave, but riding the wave of artificial intelligence.
Thank you. I think Danoop partially answered this with the concept of having an Institute of Healthcare Engineering as a startup hub and an incubator. But if anyone else wants to take this question.
Thank you. Your question, your concern is so valid. But I can just briefly tell you of experience. First, this is so challenging. More than 25 to 30% of companies who were created in USA, okay, with FDA-approved algorithms, they never sold their product. Never. Because by the time they released their product, somebody else had come up with a similar product with competitive pricing, or even the clinical value of the product has diminished somehow, okay? This, especially in the COVID era. Now, we came up with products at AUB. One of them I presented last year, was successfully released in the market, it's sold. We got the return of investment, and we even created a hub for startups, and we have so many ongoing projects now. But I'm optimistic somehow that soon we will be releasing also, we have a prototype we will be releasing, but it's a lot of efforts. It's years of work. And sometimes for investors, they are not seeing the easy money coming securely, okay? So until we have investors who are not interested in quick return of investment, this is a challenge in this part of the world. It's gonna happen somehow, but this market needs to equalize, okay? Now, there are hundreds of them. There are so many needs, okay? So it will come up with time, but the theory has to change in the mind of investors, okay? They need to invest in research, they need to invest with us, and they need to give us time in order to do that. And we cannot guarantee their return of investment depending on what is the project and what's the time that we can come up with a successful product. Sometimes we fail, and we have to admit this.
I think you pretty much outlined the main points of the need for investment, but I believe it's not just individual investors. I think governments need to step in, because this is part of a government's duty to support and fund such projects, knowing that some of them, in fact, a lot of them are going to fail. But this is the only way forward. And case in mind is what's happening in Europe. Why is Europe doing so well with AI products? Because the government is stepping in. It's funding. The US, China. Here, we're always looking at private investors. No, that's not enough. Private investors will not invest in anything unless they're so sure that it's going to bring back the money. Governments can afford to support and finance failures. And failures are a normal part of the process. So governments need, in this part of the world, to play a greater role. I think in this country, they're leading the way. But that's not enough. The Middle East is so many countries, and we need more countries to follow suit and start playing that role that's needed if they really want to attract talent, to bring in research, and to be a hub for AI development.
Thank you so much for the interesting question. And I want to add something to what the Prof is concerned, that if the model or AI model was trained on, for example, US data or Europe data, we cannot apply it on UAE data. There is some kind of domain shift between the model and the data that the model originally trained on and UAE data. So that's why there need to be, for those models to be retrained to fit well in UAE data. That's why I believe there will be a need for local deliverable. Okay, and with the conference, I'm extremely tired. Okay, who actually will train the model on UAE local data, which will perform based on the region here. Okay, this is my comment.
I just want to comment about our experience or future vision in Saudi Arabia. So actually, artificial intelligence in healthcare is supported by the Public Investment Fund. And there are 3 companies, they are actually supported by the Public Investment Fund by millions of riyal. So probably, hopefully they will not run away. But the problem now we are facing, not the funding, because we have a lot of fund, but the data. So because of the data governance and the ethics and so on in healthcare, so now we develop this local clouds like STC Cloud and Alibaba Cloud, and I think Amazon also, they're deploying a cloud in Saudi Arabia by 2026. So this will solve a big problem for us, because the data in the cloud was, whenever you talk to anybody, they will talk about data in the cloud and the patient privacy. So this is, I think, the first step toward research and implementing research in real practice. But there are 3 or 4 companies in Saudi Arabia. They are already funded by the government, actually. So hopefully, I'm looking to a brighter future for the region, inshallah.
And also there are lessons to learn from others. So the EU put all their data together and they regulated their laws unanimously so that they can then pull the data into similar clouds. Perhaps the Middle East can do similar things within GCC or within the Middle East. And that also enables us to have better generalizability when the apps are applied later on. Indeed. Yes.
Thank you. I want to thank all the speakers about these nice informations. But I'm thinking along 2 days, what are the possible side effects of if we apply artificial intelligence in our practical field? because there is some diseases triggered by social isolation like autism, intelligence or artificial intelligence itself, it's something of distress for some patient, even for doctors. So what is the expected side effect and how we can protect the field from this side effect before applying this artificial intelligence? Thank you.
I'll just highlight my take on this. I believe we should think of the side effects if we do not deploy AI. This is way more serious than side effects associated with deployment. But I'll leave my colleagues to comment on the side effects associated with deployment. But it's way, way more serious not to deploy. The harm is there and we'll be missing a lot. I'm not saying it's a dream come true or it's not a utopia, but definitely its rewards way outweigh its disadvantages.
Indeed, and also this is why we have to have a code of conduct with use, and this needs to be regulated. So we're aware of these, and it comes together gradually.
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges of the FDA in approving the AI products was how can we classify AI products, whether they are a drug or a device, or what's exactly the AI product or the software is. So I think we should, as a clinician and researcher also, as Dr. Ahmed said, we should think about it as mitigations between the effect and the side effects. What we're gonna gain from AI products and what it will be the side effects. Think about it as any medical products. And here we can see, as Dr. Ahmed said, like the side effects of not in applying the AI products in our practice. Simply just, I know that's like, I'm sorry to just like to mention that in front of the radiologist again, but like if you think about the reading a CT exam, how long does it take to read the CT exam? So now with the AI, it will reduce it from 25, 30 minutes to 5, 6 minutes. What is the side effects of this?
The only side effect that I have been thinking of all the time is for teaching on teaching institutions environment, because the role of AI should not override the role of teaching. The residents should always be able, and it's their role, and it's their target to do the preliminary report. In academic institutions, we should not use it to play the resident's role. That's the only thing. So it's just a rule and the habit that we need to think of.
Well, actually, I'm just adding something that even in the journals now, in the Circulation Journal and Journal of American College of Cardiology, they accept writing manuscripts using AI, ChatGPT, that it is now a part of the submission process, because like still I think we forget that AI has been created by a human. And still, we have the ability to edit. Still, we have the ability. If you look at the convolutional neural networks, it's just like they copied it from our neurons. So, like after all this, still we have the power over the AI. Please.
I think the main risk or the main side effect of AI, not only in healthcare, in all applications, is security. Is the matter of security. And many of you probably aware of a big incident that happened in Hong Kong a couple of years back, where is a financial CEO of one of large company, he received a call or a message from his manager that they will have a Zoom meeting with him. And they have a Zoom meeting with him, and during the Zoom meeting, they ask him to transfer 25 million Hong Kong dollar to this account. And in the Zoom meeting is his manager and his deputy manager. And he was so convinced that he was talking to his bosses, so he transferred the money. But it happened that these are actually AI So the risk is there for all application of AI. And the finance system and the other sectors has been advanced in AI use ahead of the health sector. So, and I agree with Professor Ahmed, and that's the potential of advantage that we will gain as a healthcare, and the patient will gain, is outweigh the risk of AI, of not using the AI.
And having said that, guardrails are actually in place, just like Dr. Amanda said, to make sure we do not really drift, we do not abuse it. But as a tool, it's a very powerful tool, and be totally unwise to try to slow it down or curtail it. So that's my issue. With too many regulations, you really are missing a lot of opportunities. There's got to be guardrails, but we should not overdo it. Just like with the vaccines with the COVID. There were so many people against the vaccines. I think humanity would have been abolished had this vaccination program not gone into place. So, as you can see, I'm a bit of a supporter of AI, a little bit.
Thank you. I think we're all supporters and we're bringing our points across. I think this concludes. Yes. I think this concludes our session. Thank you very much for joining the panel discussion, and thank you for the audience. I'd also particularly like to thank all the people that participated in the AI Challenge. It's the first year we're on this. It's been quite interactive, and as you can see, everyone enjoyed it. We enjoyed grilling you and marking you as well. So we have very good prizes that have been donated by Meridian Health for all of you. So each and every participant in this challenge will win a digital calendar and agenda. And the number one winner will win?
Wireless speaker.
Will win a wireless speaker, and we will announce the winners now. Yes. Courtesy of Meridian Health. Thank you very much.